Sports Pueblo, 1350. This is the John Wristen Show, brought to you by Miller Lite. Let's join the voices of the pack, Jim Brooks and Joe Cervi, along with CSU Pueblo Thunderwolves head coach, John Wristen.
John Wristen. So, yeah, you can howl. Everybody howl. Tundra's in the house. You always howl when Tundra's here.
Hell yeah.
There you go. Jim Brooks along with the Chieftains, Joe Cervi. The coach will be along shortly. Fashionably late. Probably listening to us on the way I said home. This is home. It is the home of the pack here at Andy Mack's, but he's checking us out, seeing what we're going to say, but get the show going here. But come on out and join us. These are some new appetizers, little egg roll action here.
Southwest egg rolls. We have the meatballs that John likes so much.
Yes, with the sauce.
John likes them. John, everything's for John.
Yeah.
And then the $5 buffet. Come out. It's a all-you-can-eat buffet for $5 during the show.
I thought we might, what I really liked last week was the boneless chicken wings with the Asian zing sauce. Now that was
El Mondo.
Okay, well that's
all we got to do is say, hey, this
casual suggestion.
And now we can place orders. Now we have some juice.
We have some
juice at the bar, but we've only done this for 9 years now.
Well, speaking of having juice at the bar, or just having juice, I guess would be the Thunderwolves. We were talking about that, Joe. No juice. Early in the game, seemed like they were a little flat, but then once they got in the flow of the game there, suddenly, you get a little confidence and things picked up.
All right, what that tells me is something we've talked about now for 3 or 4 weeks is we're waiting for leaders to emerge. You didn't have to have that manufacture stuff back in the last couple of years because those were seniors. They were grizzled veterans who knew how to get pumped up for a game. You got a lot of these young guys, a lot of guys making their first start on Saturday night, a lot of Rex Dowson, the quarterback. I mean, you have a lot of interchangeable parts that were new, relatively new speaking, and they're just not sure how to do it yet.
Right.
Boy, but you play like that, you're going to learn how to do it pretty quick.
Well, we thought, what's going to happen without Bernard McDonald? The first time in however long you chronicled it that McDonald hasn't led
since 2013.
Hasn't led the Thunderwolves in rushing in a ball game, and it happened to be Austin Meachie. I thought Dort, Meachie, and Cardinal, man, he came in the ball game, ran the ball well.
We laughed. We asked Coach Wristen last week about David Cardinal because he's just built like one of those guys you want to see in the backfield, and he was third, fourth on the depth chart. Well, what happened to David Cardinal? He just wasn't getting it. He was there, but he just wasn't there. And boy, they put him in, and I think he had a point to prove.
Yeah.
And I was as impressed with him as all three of them. They ran great. Yeah, and J.C. Cherry, the true freshman out of Cherry Creek, he dressed, did not play. So I think they'd like to redshirt him, I'm sure, if they can, because you can always have running backs, but he was ready if they needed him.
Yeah, he's kind of that stopgap measure in case they need to put him in there, and he's going to be something.
Yeah, and he's pretty talented, but you wonder at this level if they're physically ready to take a pounding in the RMAC as a true freshman.
Right.
Just body development and mentally, but some guys are. I mean, J.B. Matthews was as good as there was. Jesse Lewis, sometimes you're just good.
Yeah, exactly. But, the running game was good, but the difference in the ball game, you could sense it, was when Rex Dowson made that little rollout, Joe, and he just was throwing across his body and thought, don't throw. And he slung it down. That was a heck of a throw on the sideline to Wise. about 40 yards on a rope.
We thought he was throwing it away.
Yeah.
Because it was a layered pattern, and we thought, okay, the long guy's covered, the short guy you overthrew, and then out of nowhere, Wise comes and picks that pass up.
Yeah.
I think it was 31 yards or 39 yards or something like that, and he kind of threw it, almost looked like he flicked it.
Yeah.
And you go, okay, he could spin it.
Exactly.
He just flicked it, and I think everybody just that sigh of relief, and I think that even settled him in a little bit to say, okay, let's go. And he rushed for one, he threw for one, no turnovers.
Yeah, they got Boyd involved. I think that's one of the things people were a little worried about, because here you got this great weapon at tight end, and hadn't really done anything in the first couple of ball games, but I think they made a point to get him the ball early on.
Well, and I think Zach Boyd is drawing the attention of defensive coordinators, and I know if I was a defensive coordinator of an opposing team from CSU Pueblo, I would find Zach Boyd. He's that good. He was their returning pass catcher, and he's made a lot of big catches in his short time at CSU Pueblo. So I think he's drawing some extra attention. But yeah, it's nice to see the run pass option. I think Rex is settling in a little bit, and the line did a good job. He wasn't destroyed, which is always nice. The running game helps.
Yeah, that's your best friend.
Like it always does, and the defense played better.
Yeah, and then talking about some of the offensive weapons, O'Shea Washington, I think they've been bragging about this guy. Talking about, he's pretty good. We like our receivers we got coming in here, and he got the post pattern for the touchdown, too, wide open. Yeah,
and some speed that we hadn't seen. It was a little separation, and it was nice to see the route that he took and Rex finding him. Mm-hmm. It was what we had been hearing about but have not seen, and this is week 3. So now in week 3 we see what we've been told, and that's kind of fun.
Then on defense, the freshman comes up with the big pick 6.
Well, I felt bad for Emory Taylor because against Mines we were a little hard on him, but he was getting the whole secondary was struggling that entire night, and they were Justin Dvorak was picking on Emory Taylor and this freshman
find the weak link.
Yes, and it was great just to see him step into that pattern. He jumped the route, caught the ball in stride, and was gone. He said he was going to take a little ribbing of the quarterback catching him, but hey, they're applauding because Wristen's in the house.
All right, that's great. He is showing. He's going to emerge here in a minute, come out of the tunnel.
But Emory Taylor, and then he gets another pick on a deflection. So a guy that is growing as the game is in 3 weeks, the amount of growth and just confidence that he had, and being in the right place and making a play. I mean, how many picks have they had potentially that they didn't make?
Right.
And he made one, then he took it to the house.
Well, on that note, let's go ahead and bring in the head coach, John Wristen. Welcome, John.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Let's talk about the freshman, since we'll just segue into that. That had to be great, running right up in front of you, right on the sideline, streaking down the sidelines. Probably wanted to go throw a block for him there.
Which freshman?
Pick one.
Playing a lot. E.T. Emory Taylor, he did a nice job. Coach Hughes and Donnell designed a coverage. We're going to trap that down there. And nice break on the ball, and all of a sudden, here he goes. And he just did a nice job of he's got that instinct to the ball. He's really a natural at that, and he's only, I have to appeal the NCAA because he only weighs 150 pounds, and so I want to make sure that we give him every opportunity. But he made a nice play. He really helped the momentum of that game, and nice to see all that spirit and excitement on the sidelines, and should have got a penalty because we were all down there celebrating. But some of those you just gotta say, go do it, celebrate it, and we'll take our medicine. But it was nice to have the Thunder Wolves show a little passion.
Well, I asked him about the interception after the game, and he said that defense that you talked about was designed for him to make a play. It just kind of be the ball hawk, and when I'm in that coverage, my job is to make a play on that. And so it was kind of neat that it happened. It worked the way it was supposed to.
Yeah, it worked. It's a trap coverage where we try to trap the guy in the flat, and he did a nice break, and really the quarterback didn't see him break, and he thought he had it on leverage, and kind of underthrew it. But E.T. made a nice play on that.
Well, you said talking about freshmen, Michi running the ball great in the ball game, but also we talked about the running game. All 3 running backs did a great job running that football.
Well, I think we got targeted right and had some nice big holes in there, and so I think our offensive line, got to give credit to them, and our tight ends, they did a nice job getting their bodies on the right people. And we started to play pack football, and that's a run and play action passes to be able to do that. And so with that being said, I think Michi and himself would say, "God, I had a chance to have over 100 yards." He missed some cuts, but that will come through reputation, reps, and being able to handle those things and see that, because his reputation is a hard-nosed runner, and so with those reps, he'll be able to see the cuts and be able to manage that hole.
Well, he's so big and strong, he probably looks for contact instead of trying to avoid contact sometimes. That's the key?
Sometimes, he's such a passionate guy that he just gets tunnel vision. He says, I'm going to go straight ahead. And a running back, so you got to create your own magic a little bit. And we've been lucky. We've been spoiled. We've got a lot of great backs to be able to that has been an example of what I just said. And so, our guys will get it.
Sometimes coaches use this phrase that the game needs to slow down for him. Is that a perfect example of a kid that it's just got to slow down for him?
Well, I really think if you go back and look at the game and really see the things, if you had a veteran back, I'm using Bernard and being able to do that, there would have been some nice long runs. But, we're able to go bore him to death 4 yards at a time, and I'll take that. I'll take that. The best thing about it is that we only turned it over late in the ball game, and so right now I said last week after the West Texas game, I said we're -7 in our turnover margin, but right now we said we can't do anything about it but move forward. So we're actually +1, and that's the way we're going to look at it and try to build on it.
Well, I told the listeners we'd check with you on that late fumble because the subject is David Cardinal, a great runner, or that he was in that ball game, but he's had a little bugaboo with putting the ball ground. Was that his miscue, or was it the quarterback not putting it in the right place, or a joint venture?
David gets a little his discipline on his pocket to hand the ball. Sometimes his bottom hand, you have to keep it right below your belly button, and he gets out a little bit. And then the top hand, your closest arm to the quarterback, that elbow has to be up in a nice pocket, and the quarterback has to make sure he puts it in, doesn't lay it there. You got to put it in so it's defined for you, and you got to look it in, you got to make sure it's there, and he takes it. And so that's a combination of just reps and being able to get that done.
Okay, well, that's good to know. He's got something to work on still. That's probably one of the things he's been all the time. Struggling a little bit.
We do that every day of practice, the first 5 minutes of every day. Snaps and exchange, and we'll get better. It's those little details that sometimes you take for granted. You pack football fan, you take that stuff for granted. But we're going to continue to work on it, and we're going to try to get on the plus side of our turnover ratio.
Got something?
Well, and that was late, and I know that was just kind of a stat disappointment. It had no effect on the game, which is always good.
Yeah, I mean, you still got to count it. Yeah, but we had E.T. had that other pick you talked about. I thought that was an unbelievable play. He was ball. They were trying to run a little bubble screen, and he read it, and he was able to. He was there to make the tackle, and all of a sudden his eyes come up and see the ball, and you see him reach out and snag it, and that was a heck of a play. And it got us to be able to go up 16 going into halftime.
Well, I don't know if you were listening to Jim and I on your way here, but we were talking about this is a young team, and they're learning how to manufacture that juice, and the plays like that'll do it. The play like the pick six, the play, the big pass play that Rex opened the game with to D Wise. Those are the things that start to feed kids that don't know how to do it yet.
Well, it's just one of those things. I think that what's our cause as a team, and so that's one of the challenges every year as a coach. You got to fabricate a cause for them, and hopefully kids buy into what's going on. And I think we're slowly but surely approaching that.
Well, John, I don't have to fabricate a cause here tonight because look at these. Southwestern egg rolls. I can't wait.
My cup of tea right there, buddy.
Dig into one of those here in this next little break, because that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to take a break.
Crowd tonight.
Yeah, we do have a nice crowd. There, got Tundras in the house. We always love it when Tundras here. You can howl and make sure everything's all right. But come on out and join us here at Andy Mack's. We'll be here till 7 o'clock with the show, and we'll be here a little while afterward. We've got some. Do we have some prizes to give?
No, we have some tickets. Risto can give some tickets if he wants.
Okay, he wants to. Okay, so we got a live mic tonight. If anybody in the house wants to get a question to John, you can come on over. We've already got some questions lined up on the tech. Abigail and Madison have already checked it. They were right there, and they've got a good one for you tonight. This is a good question. Can't wait to do that one. So we'll do that. We're going to dig into these Southwestern egg rolls. We got meatballs. We got cold beverages of any type here at Andy Mack's. Come on out and join us. It is the John Wristen Show on Fox Sports Pueblo.
The John Wristen Show on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
And welcome back to Andy Mack's John Wristen Show. I think they're applauding the Southwestern egg rolls. We do have a $5 buffet over here. People are just joining us in the lounge right now. Joe's going to start singing. He's going to get his guitar out here in the lounge.
That's right.
And start singing. But we have the $5 buffet. That's all part of the John Wristen Show night here on Wednesday nights. So come on and join. I don't know what they've got over there tonight. Usually it's barbecue. What do they got?
I don't know
tonight?
what. I didn't ask. I should have asked. What's on the buffet tonight? Rigatoni
it's a little Italian. Rigatoni and meatballs. Probably got some garlic bread over there as well.
There you go.
So that's a good little $5 meal to go with your nice cold beverage.
And then get to come listen to you.
Exactly. And right now I'm a little down because the Red Sox just hit into a double play there. They had the bases loaded in the top of the fourth. They've won 6 in a row. But that's what we can watch here. We got baseball on the screens. We got some football. We got the World Cup of Hockey. I didn't see if Sweden or the North America won. They were in overtime today, Joe. You didn't find that out for me?
I didn't. I'm sorry.
I had to go pick up little Carly.
Sorry.
I'm sure Josh Koski knows. He's a hockey
He's
buff,
a big hockey. We'll have him come by and tell us. He was, opining about your golf game. Something about a 6-iron out of bounds on 3 at the club?
Oh, that's his buddy, the Puck, Biscuit. And,
the Puck.
And,
the biscuit in the basket.
So they said you hit one out on 3?
Yeah.
So that's the first question of the night. Before we get to the question and answer session, is how you do that. But it takes
talent.
Did you overcook it, trying a little draw, or?
Yeah, just try to goose it a little bit, and that's like Puck over there, the guy with the bald head over there.
That's like your question, how did you make quad on that hole? Well, I missed a damn 3-footer for triple.
Right.
That's usually the way it goes. So, but, all right, let's get back to the game, shall we? Back to your comfort zone.
I didn't win that hole, but I won that game.
How about being comfortable watching a quarterback just, take the team calmly down the field and do his job there, I guess, is what you're saying.
Well,
not do too much.
It was really nice to have some consistency in our pass game, and we only had one drop the whole night, and Rex did a nice job at throwing it on the spot. And we're trying to, they're loading the box, and we're trying to expand it a little bit, and in our short passing game. But the first pass was we're trying to take it deep off our play action, and Daniel blew right past the guy on the line of scrimmage, and we got caught up with O'Shea coming down the sidelines. So Rex was holding on a scramble. It was nice to see him scramble and see him come across the field. We got man coverage and made a nice play.
That's the arm we've all been talking about. It looked like he flicked it.
Yeah, that's things you've seen in practice, and now he's getting more comfortable within our offense to be able to do what we need to. And you can see that he got more confidence after every play, and so he was very, very much in control that whole night. We didn't have a lot of formation singles. We didn't have any play singles going on, so that was really, really a positive thing, and it's that growth of Rex as a quarterback. Everybody sees all those things, but the intangible things of controlling the huddle, controlling the singles is so much better than it has been, and so it's really cool to see Rex gain some confidence.
Probably one of those keys too with a quarterback. Joe and I have talked about it before. When you have 2 quarterback systems, sometimes you don't have any, but now you got one that has a job. But it's up to that guy once he does get the job that he must take full advantage of. In that ball game, he did. Like I said, didn't do too many things wrong or try to overachieve, I guess, is the key.
Well, he's got to be Clark Kent, manage the game. He doesn't need to be Superman. And so I thought he put the ball in the right spot. Our bubble game was on target and was very beneficial in us to be able to move the chains. I think we were over 60% in our third down conversion. And so I believe that at one point he had over 13 straight completions. And so that was really a nice part of our offense that we're able to have some success doing that. And so, and I think the big key to that is just, again, we're able to give him time. He's able to see it, and we're able to run the ball. It's that combination of all that. And so it's just not one thing when thing goes bad. It's all 3 things. But when things go good, it's all 3 things. It's the protection, it's the running game, and the passing game, and everybody being able to manage that.
I thought one of the keys to the game, and Jim and I talked about this, was the opening drive of the second half. That was CSU Pueblo football personified. 8.5 minutes of the clock. Just efficient, run packs, mix, just keep the ball in front of you and go down and score. That was that was as good as it's been since we've done this.
Well, it was nice to have some success. You know, we've been struggling, and it was nice to meet that challenge, and our guys responded to that. I said at halftime that we needed to make sure we take any wind out of them in the third quarter, and we got the drive of the third quarter, and I said we got to put it in the end zone. And sure enough, they had a 14-play drive, and we were able to punch in the end zone. Next thing you know, it's half the third quarter's gone, and I thought that was pretty special.
They're kind of a funny defense to play against, aren't they? They kind of do some unfamiliar things, I guess, when you're guys coming from different angles. And I think you can talk about targeting, right? You got to be patient in what you're doing and pick up the guy you need to get.
What they did is they tried to hide their free safety behind their middle linebacker was at 7 yards, and the free safety number one was always running in the alley, and you couldn't get it, and so they're playing man on the outside and funneling everything into one in the 56th linebacker. Their numbers are running together, and so with being able to do that caused some penetration, but that's why we were getting 3 or 4 yard runs. And when you go one-on-one and you're trying to miss somebody missing the hole, and then you're able to go extend it 4 or 5, you got some big plays. But when you were able to take advantage of the free safety being right behind the linebacker and in the passing game, that's why you're able to run for 200 and pass for 200. That's my ideal game.
Right.
I want to be able to be so balanced when you look at the stats that you're 200 and 200 or 200 plus. And so that's what I strive us to be, and being able to manage that. And 2 years ago, 14, we were as balanced as anybody in the country, and I think that's really where we need to go.
Well, and defensively, second quarter, they had that one nice drive where they picked up 5 straight third downs. I think, oh man, we got to stop them. But then you got another third down conversion. It was just your defense. But I thought after that drive, that was the one where they really moved it pretty well. After that, you kind of made the adjustment. It helped when they benched their quarterback, which we couldn't figure. We thought that was a little harsh because the quarterback's like one bad throw. I mean, he was playing brilliantly, I thought, and then he gets benched.
Well, I think that he got a little dinged up chasing Emery down the sideline.
Okay.
And so, or they wanted to teach him a lesson, I guess, or have him slow down. But I'm glad they made that move.
Yes, thank you.
I'm glad.
Appreciate it.
The other guy was a little, he was okay, but he was a little lead foot compared to the other guy getting around there, I thought.
Well, I told you going to the game, I think their offense is very hard to defend. They're going to get yards on you. And so we just didn't want them to go 80 on a big play, and we prevented that. And so, and then I thought the key there was that we kept everything in front and we tackled, and we got good pressure on them. And I think Ryan Merrill stepped up and had a nice game.
Well, he got the start, and that was a reward.
He took advantage,
and he played like it. He worked hard. He played the end of the last game good, moved up on the depth chart, and then took advantage of his position.
Right.
And that's I think when you reward kids like that, I mean, they all play, so it's not like he wasn't going to see the field, but to get your name called and
then lead the team in tackles.
And then rewarded and then play as hard as he did, that could show everybody else, hey, look.
Well, you got to give Ryan some credit. He's been a special teams guy and played his role. He got hurt
had the knee injury
down at when we played Angelo State at Jerry's World, and he's slowly come back, and he's worked his tail end off. Now this is his senior season. We could probably get one more, but we'll see. We'll cross that line as we get to it. But I'm proud of him. He's really stuck with it and has a great motor, great attitude about things, and so he is a little wiry, feisty, little agitator. But he's a good football player.
Well, and what people don't know about him maybe that he played at Saguaro High School, and all that high school does is win. Yeah. I mean, they beat the living hell out of Valor Christian on national TV, and Valor Christian is Colorado's,
right.
And so Ryan came for that. I think he said he lost 2 games in his entire high school career.
Right.
And then he comes to CSU Pueblo, and all they do is win. so it's guy's a winner.
What you're saying is winning breeds winning?
Yes. John likes those guys. He likes winning programs, winning coaches, winning players.
Well, it's one of those things that they understand that there's a standard and a strain that has to go with it. I mean, I think it's easy to lose. It really is. I mean, but
nail it in other words.
You got to strain to figure out how to win. You got to strain to figure out how to get your kids to play better, and it's a standard that we want to live by here at CSU Pueblo.
All right, the only thing we're going to strain on for the next 4 minutes or so is some more Southwest egg rolls and meatballs and all that good stuff. We want everybody to come on. If you're driving around, come on in, join us. Drop into Andy Max. We have the $5 buffet.
Yeah, we need some football questions in this, come
the
on
next
up
segment, we have some lined up. But, yeah, if you're in the house, we got the live mic. John likes to talk to you face-to-face. See if you've got a good one, and we're not going to do any more golf. Unless you just come up here and grab the mic, then it's the hot mic, and we don't know. You might
KO might come up and talk some hockey or golf.
There we go. And that's KO's assignment. Find out who won the hockey game today between North America and Sweden. Heck of a game. Had some Avalanche players going in that one. So
North America won that, Jim.
They did.
So I was told.
All right, great. So
I got a
good. They're into the
there.
semis, I think, now.
There you
that's
go.
That's good. That's a World Cup of hockey. We got one of those games on the TV as well. So come on down and join us. We are at Andy Max. It is the John Wristen Show. We come back. We got questions coming up right after this. John Wristen Show on Fox Sports Pueblo.
The John Wristen Show on Fox Sports Pueblo, 1350.
Tell Nate Baptist going out in style. He's heading for Fort Collins in a couple weeks, but that's the kind of music you get leading into this segment. He's got Caitlin Norton in there, too, training her how to run the board. So that's our
Go, Caitlin.
Caitlin's going to be there, so looking forward to that. What we're looking forward to right now is our question segment, 719-671-7574. If you got a question you want to text in.
And we got some microphone in here,
we got the hot mic for people in attendance want to come over and talk to John.
He's got something he wants to say.
Charlie's ready. We're going to go ahead and open it up right now. Charlie, to make sure it's on. Is it on there?
Hello.
Yeah, that sounds like I hear you.
He's going to sing for us.
Well, this isn't a question. It's more of a statement about the quality of the program that John and the guys have put together. Last week, one of their players' father passed away, and Coach Ward went up to the funeral, represented the university, and I'm just saying that's just a class act of the way these guys run their business. So thank you, John.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. There's one of our Ben Burnett is a defensive lineman that we knew Ben was going to be a big factor on our defensive line, and with Josh Croy, we're going to have some. And when we were going into two-a-days, Ben's dad had diabetes really bad, and they put him in hospice for a month, and so Ben decided he was going to withdraw from school and concentrate on his family, and we endorsed everything. And sure enough, he passed away about 2 weeks ago, and Craig Ward was the guy who recruited him, was close to family, and the funeral was yesterday, and he went up and represented our university, but more as a family to say, hey, we care about you as a person more than as a football player, and I wish we could have taken the whole team up there and been a part of that, but Craig had a unique experience doing that, and it's something that we're going to pride ourselves in doing.
All right. Now, next question. There's some couple from Pueblo. They have a stadium named after him here. Oh. It's up on the hill. You familiar with that place?
Yeah, I work there every day.
Thunder Bowl or something like that? Well, Mr. Positive wants to know. You know who Mr. Positive is?
I love Mr.
Doc
Positive.
Eddie and Nita right there with him. They want to know, is this the start of something big? Are we going to just keep on rolling and roll right on through? Do you feel a wave happening right now?
Well, I'm really learned from being positive is about, is like I said last week, I can't do anything about the turnovers in the first two games. And so we put a big emphasis about being 0-0 and let's move forward and handle our business in the right way. I do feel like we're gaining a little traction on this thing, and we're gaining how to strain. We got a different group of guys, and that's part of the challenge of the human spirit is to try to keep them all going in the same direction. But But the only way to do it is a positive nature, and I've learned that from Mr. Positive, and I do fully believe that we're going to get on a big-time roll here.
All right, we're looking forward to that.
I just got to say, I lost a little juice with Doc Yeti. I've been right for 8 years, and up at Mines, he says, what do you think? And I gave him my prediction, and I saw him the next day. He goes, I'm never talking to you about
Never again, Joe.
I lost it after one game.
All right, well, you're going to have to work the whole year to get it back.
Right.
You just got one brick at a time. All right. Speaking of positive, we're going to take care of your wife right now.
Oh.
She wants to know if there's some bus going to Gunnison later on this year.
There is a fan bus. I think you can get it on the website, just like you did for the Mines bus. And so I don't even know what weekend that is.
3 weeks. So let's see. We got this week's Highlands at home. Then we go to Mesa, go to Adams State, come home for somebody.
Fort Lewis.
I think it's homecoming.
And then
you go on the road to Gunnison. So I think like the 22nd.
Yeah, it's the second to last Saturday in October.
Are you getting used to playing at home? This is nice. Strangely nice to have 3 in a row at home.
I don't remember us ever having.
I don't think it's happened.
So there's a lot of first season.
Okay, we've got a lot of questions still coming in. This is amazing.
All but 1 week of October on the road. So.
I know. So
you're paying for it.
Yeah, 4 out of 5 weeks. We had 5 games in October.
5 Saturdays in October.
All right. Can you compare and contrast Rex Dowson with his brother Ross and Bernard with his brother Cam? What are the differences and what are the similarities?
Well, they both played the same position. They both played the same position. I think Rex and Ross, I call Rex Ross half the time. And obviously Ross was a little bigger as an athlete. I think Rex is a better thrower, has a quicker release. Ross was a guy that had all the little intangibles building this thing together, and Rex is learning that. 2 different personalities a little bit. If you go to Cam and Bernard, Cam was a guy that said, I'm going to load everybody up on my back and I'm going to take care of the team. I think Bernard's learning that. Bernard's a little more flashy. You hear Bernard, you don't hear Cam. Cam doesn't want any glory. One doesn't want to talk to anybody. Bernard wants to talk to everybody. And they're both 4 of the greatest kids I could ever want to coach. And I've been very fortunate and blessed that I get a set of brothers to coach, and it's one of those things that I think that it's just been a unique experience, and I think there's they're all different, but they're all very similar, if that makes any sense.
All right, Tundra's in the house tonight.
Good.
Who else is in the house listening on his iHeartRadio application down in Texas? Uncle Charlie. Checking in. He says Uncle Charles, but I got to call him Uncle Charlie.
I gotcha.
All right. He's down there with my 3 sons, something like that. Anyway, great win last week, he says. And speaking of Bernard McDonald, wants to know, is he going to play this week?
Well, I think Bernard is slowly and surely coming back from his knee strain, his hamstring. But we're going to rule him out for this game because he couldn't go today. We're just trying to be smart with them. We're hoping that there'll be some. You took some reps, but I just don't think that he's 100% healthy.
All right. He also wants to know about Highlands, but we'll talk about that in the next segment. And then we've kind of talked about the quarterback play. He kind of liked it. So
good.
Thanks, Uncle Charlie. Let's see. Where we go? We got another one. Okay, go ahead.
You know, we Jim and I talked when you were on your way over here about J.C. Cherry. You know, he suited last week, didn't play. At what point of the season do you decide you're not going to burn that red shirt?
You know, you'd like to keep the red shirt all the way through 11 games. I think injuries dictate that whole situation about who's going to play, who's not going to play. But right now I would think J.C. Cherry's going to be able to red shirt.
Okay. All right. But it wasn't just JC. I think it is in general.
Correct. I think we have about 6 other true freshmen that could play, but we made a decision not to play them to try to give them another year experience and try to have them another year in the weight room, understand the system, and just get used to college football.
Do kids fight you on that?
No, I think some kids do want to get redshirted, and I think they do want to have that growth and that maturity to handle. I know another set of brothers, Stephen O'Malley versus Patrick O'Malley. Stephen O'Malley is a really great inside linebacker we recruited out of Cherry Creek, and Pat was a great fullback out of Cherry Creek. And one of Stephen's thoughts and wishes was during the recruiting was, I think I want a red shirt and get used to it. And then he got into it. He says, I don't know if I want to. And so he's going to be a real good player for us, but we made a decision not to red shirt him.
Okay, this
or
is
to red shirt him, excuse me.
Kind of a question from two different people about the same thing. One of them deals with Brock Davies. They noticed him in street clothes at the game. Want to know, is he going to play this week?
Brock Davies is playing this week.
All right, so his suspension is over with. Serve that along with a couple other ball players. Another listener wants to know about the defensive line. He says it appears to be a little bit smaller this year compared to last year's. But we're talking about a great defensive line the last couple of years. But we want you to compare and contrast this year's line with the lines in the past, and especially wants to know about, is nose tackle about size, technique, experience? Which is the biggest factor at nose tackle?
Yes.
There you go.
So I think, obviously you want a bigger guy that can play both A gaps and be able to angle and slant like we do. So we're experimenting with some other things. We're just really young, and our size, our four biggest guys at that time, Ben Burnett, who we talked about, Josh Croy, Deion Sizer, and
Ian
Kelly. You had those four guys right there that would have been one of the bigger defensive lines that we had.
How's Deion?
Deion's doing okay. We're going to give him a couple reps in this game, and his ankle's getting better.
All right, we got two more questions. One of them we're going to save for after the break because it's our all-star question tonight, and you know who that's from. Madison and Abigail. We're going to give them a full spotlight, but we're going to finish off our little question segment here. Ken Franek checking. His mom's doing better, he says, so he might come down to the game this week. He wants to know, how's the team's confidence after this past game? You could notice a difference this week at practice. Joe mentioned they had the music back on.
Well, we had the music off for 2 weeks, and I think that's a correlation with the way we played. And if they wanted it on, they had to play better, and we had to get a W. And so we were able to turn the music back on. I think our confidence, we really had a spirit to go today. I was very impressed with trying to run to the ball, get our tempo. We're physical, trying to get it on the right people, both offensively and defensively. And so we're slowly but surely gaining a foothold, and we're still got to keep climbing, and we're still at the bottom level. But the only thing we do is control what we can control, and that's our attitude and work ethic. And I think I haven't stressed that enough with our guys. I think they were trying to control everything around them, and I didn't do a good job of getting them back and being tunnel vision about the goal in hand and what our cause is, and check your egos at the door and let's go to work. And so with all that being said, I'm really looking forward to build and get on a run really the last 8 games.
Okay, we thank everybody for your questions. Remember, coming back after the timeout, Madison and Abigail, the spotlight question of the night. That's the hook. We're going to keep everybody interested. We want to keep them awake because they're young. It's school night. So we'll come back after this timeout. We've got some more Southwestern egg rolls to finish off. There's a couple meatballs for you there, John, and a piece of garlic bread. So dig in, and you can, finish it up with the dressings there and nothing to put it on. So that means we need something to put into the dressings. That's a hint. All right, coming back after this timeout, John Wristen Show from Andy Max on Fox Sports Pueblo.
The John Wristen Show on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
And welcome back to Andy Max, final segment of the John Wristen Show. John out glad-handing, talking to the people here in attendance. That's always nice.
Yeah, I was just getting some advice about the starting lineups. It's kind of cool.
Okay, I thought maybe it was golf swing advice, but
those guys got all the answers.
That's
over
always
there.
free.
So,
golf's always
those guys got all the answers. But
all right, here you go. Question of the night, Madison and Abigail. They work on one each week. They want to know about this. We kind of talked about it a little bit, this weird defense where they jump the defensive lineman to linebacker and move the ends inside. What are your plans this week? Should Highlands do the same drastic-like defense?
Sure. I'd love for them to draw it up that way. I thought it was kind of unique that we saw that. We're kind of going, what the heck is going on? I thought it was Madison Abigail playing out there and having a little fun with the game itself and playing. All right, you go here, I'll go here, and then we'll kind of stop them that way. And so, but
I think somebody else is helping them with their questions just a little bit.
No, I'm really impressed with a third grader, I believe, at that time, knowing the difference, how a defense lineman's jumping up and playing linebacker and doing that. They got a great seats and great view, and I appreciate their passion to learn about the way our offense is going to attack that defense.
All right, let's get to Highlands. This week you play them. This is a program, John, 3 or 4 years ago, this was one of the premier games, not only in this conference, but in the nation. I mean, that game you guys played at the Thunder Bowl a few years back.
With Jordan Campbell.
Oh, my God, what a ball game that was. It was a slobber knocker. It was, 17-14? It was one of those just intense games. They even had in the lead, I think, in the fourth quarter. But suddenly, then you played a couple times down there, which were really tough games, but suddenly the program's kind of, I don't know if they frittered something away here. They've had a coaching change. What's going on down there that they've kind of dropped off? What do you think, what you can put your finger on?
I don't know. I don't know what all their issues are, but, you know, at one time they had almost all their starting lineups were all Division I transfers.
Right.
And so I think that they've got to change the direction of how they want to build their program. And so we've always had great competition, great games with Highlands. I think they're a program that's trying to figure out what their identity is. I think Coach Mills is going out and trying to get more high school guys versus JC transfers. They're going to be a couple true freshmen play. And so it's going to be a young group playing a young group. And it's going to be a great challenge for us. I think they're going to line up and try to run the ball at us. I think they're going to not try to air it out. They got a big 6'6" receiver, number 19, I believe, is their guy who makes a lot of great plays on that. They do play with 2 tight ends. I see it very similar in the way the growth of our programs from the very beginning about their philosophy. They're playing a 3-4 defense, trying to slant and angle and trying to get to a 4 down front at different times. They'd like to get their safeties involved in the run game. So I think this is a point for them is a growing and try to change the pay or turn the page on one direction and growing into another. Okay. And so that's how I see it.
Well, also coming into this ball game, it's got to be a heck of a hangover. You just got shellacked. Had to go down to Northern Arizona, the money game, and I was watching some of that game Saturday night. I got home. There it is. It's on one of the Fox channels. I don't know which one it was, but
right.
Here it was, Northern Arizona Network, and it's 28-3. They just kicked a field goal, so maybe they're going to be competitive for a while. Then they hit them over the top a couple times, and it looks like they must have done it in the second half too. So they're going to be a wounded animal coming in.
Well, Northern Arizona has some big-time talent, and so I looked it up, and one of the receivers is from La Mirada High School out of Orange County area, and that's where Mike Machete's the head coach here. Mike was going to be part of our staff, and I called Mike out of the blue. I hadn't talked to him in a while, and he says, yeah, that kid signed at Oklahoma. Okay, he was at Oklahoma, played wide receiver, and then
heck of a quarterback too.
Something happened. That quarterback is probably the best quarterback in the Big Sky, and so they got big time talent, and I think that that Highlands put on a good show. They didn't quit. They played hard, and they're going to come in here and try to beat us. I mean, they're coming in here to try to give us a challenge, and they are going to give us a challenge.
Jeff Mills needs to talk to his athletic director. His first 5 games, 4 on the road, 5 different states. It's like, okay, how's that to start a season when you're trying to reach?
Well, October and November will be very delightful.
South Dakota, Arizona, Utah, Colorado, and then they played 1 in New Mexico, and it's and one of in their first game, Devontae Lynch is Marshawn Lynch's little brother.
Right.
He played in that game. He's no longer on their roster. And so I don't know what happened. I haven't talked to Coach Mills. Their SID hasn't called back or emailed back, and Coach Mills hasn't called back. And it's like the program is a little bit in hiding right now.
Well, I know that I think their sports information guy left and for a different job. And so I think they're trying to gain traction and trying to do some things. But we have our own issues. We only have to worry about doing our job and doing it to the best of our abilities. And I really believe that I thought our student section was awesome last week. I thought it was loud. I saw the fans into it. I mean, that's what we need. I mean, I hate to be selfish, but we need everybody's support and positive, and we draw energy out of that. And so I felt it on Saturday night for the first time. And so I'm encouraging everybody to do that, because we do feed off all that energy. I want you to come early, stay late. I say that all the time. I want you to come, be loud and proud, and enjoy that. And so, it's a great atmosphere, and we need everybody's help to come go win this ball game.
Yeah, you could hear the fans in this game, John, getting excited. I think, everybody loves defense. We know how good our defense is and how good it can be. Everybody loves that, but a little more excitement there. Some of the plays made on offense, and in particular the running game. We've become accustomed to loving the running game at CSU Pueblo, and I think it showed signs again that it can be dominating. Well,
we're not going to back down for that. I guarantee you. I believe in what we're doing is you got to be physical on both sides of the ball, and that's we got to run the ball, we got to stop the run, and then we got to have a little wrinkles off that. And so with us doing what we've been doing, we have to adjust it to our personnel. And it takes some time to be able to get that done and taught and what the standard is. But I really think the bottom line is our guys learned how to strain last week. And it's so easy to lose a ball game. In the same breath, it's so hard to go win a ball game. And it's all within all that 6 seconds of that play of being able to do that. So I'm really happy with the direction of these young guys. I think we've had 2 really good practices. Our goals are still out in front of us, and we need everybody's help to come out and support us.
All right, we're looking forward to it. We want to thank everybody here at Andy Mack's. We want to thank our fans that came in and witnessed the show here tonight in person. We'll have the ball game for you on Saturday night, 5:30 with a pregame, 6 o'clock kickoff right here on Fox Sports Pueblo. Our producer and engineer tonight has been Nate Baptist, along with the help of Caitlin Norton. For Joe Cervi, for the head coach John Wristen, I'm Jim Brooks, bidding you good night from Andy Mack's.
Go Pack!
Thanks for listening to the John Wristen Show on Fox Sports Pueblo.